it's your job to make it happen. It's your job to go out there, make the money, and then you may have to leave and come back and then show them how it's done. But don't sit there with them when you know there's a better way. Most of the millionaires in America did not become millionaires because their daddy gave them the money. No, they're first generation. They found it. So they say, well, I don't come from an upbringing where we had a lot of money. That's no excuse. If you're watching me right now and you say you don't have money for business, then you're not thinking in the right direction, right? You need to, it's stinking thinking. That's what it is. So you need to change that mindset today because you have people here that can help you get the money. You just have to find out how to do it, get the money, build a business, change your family tree, and stop making excuses.
Welcome back to another episode of the Millionaire Essentials Podcast, where we give you guys all the essentials it is to be a millionaire. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brandon the Provider.
Yes, sir. And now it's Tevin Facey, man. Today, listen, y'all. We got the king in the building.
The
Mr.
king?
Eric King. Yes, sir.
Eric King, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
Thanks for coming out here,
Doing
man.
great.
Appreciate you.
How you
Yes,
doing,
sir.
man?
Doing great.
Eric King, man. So you made it. Where you coming from?
Virginia.
Virginia? You drove or you flew?
I drove.
Okay.
I should have flown, but
Yeah, I'm be honest.
I told you, if it's over 3 hours, I'm not
Yeah,
driving.
no more. Yeah, no more. We did one
I'm
time.
not driving.
Where did we go? Where did we?
We went to North Carolina somewhere?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't North Carolina. I think it was Maryland.
It was Maryland.
Yeah, it was
we didn't even
nah.
want to drive to Maryland.
Yeah,
you drove
nah,
up here from
yeah.
Virginia?
Yeah,
If it's over 3 hours nowadays, I'm not driving.
doing it no
I'm
more.
flying.
I'm not doing it.
How was the drive though?
pretty good.
That's pretty
Peaceful,
good.
right?
Yes, that's good.
So I see you doing a lot of moving around, a lot of moving and shaking. Let the people know who's Eric King and why you up here.
Yes, so Eric F. King, I grew up really in this area, in the DMV area, and now I focus mostly on helping authors, speakers, and coaches, right,
Okay.
to become visible, to build authority, and I've noticed that a lot of people, they have a great offer, they're a great speaker, but most people don't know them. So I started studiospeaking.com to be able to do that, put people in a studio so they can get the recognition they deserve.
Okay. Dope.
Studiospeaking.com.
Yes.
All right. So right now we're in the studio.
Right.
Right now we're speaking.
Yes.
So what is studiospeaking.com? What does it do? What can it do for us?
Okay. Well, when you come to our studio, it's in North Carolina, by the way, you're able to speak to a live audience, okay, on those big, massive Zooms. I call it the Tony Robbins Zooms, right? And that's how I came up with the idea. I went to a Tony Robbins event. But unfortunately, his people don't want to put me on his stage, so I had to create my own stage for me and people that look like me. So yeah, so that's how it all started.
Okay.
And then and when you speak on the stage, we take a lot of video, we do a lot of videos, so you get those videos, you get pictures. There are a lot of things that we give you, digital assets that you can use to explode your business.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
Okay.
So the Tony Robbins stage, so meaning like where they have the Zoom and it's like multiple people
Yes.
on that Zoom. So now you're speaking to all of those people virtually, but you are in studio.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
So they're 6-foot Zooms. So yeah, and you see all the people all over the world watching.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. So, a question I have, right, is obviously all of these people, they're coming in, they have offers, right? They have their own business. Are you helping them kind of transform their offer a little bit more as well? Or are you just giving them the platform to speak on?
That's a great question. Well, I've been a sales coach for 17 years.
Okay,
So
dope.
I help entrepreneurs 2x, 3x, even 10x their sales without being pushy. So part of the whole offer of them speaking on stage is the sales coaching. Because I feel that, if you're speaking and you don't have an offer, then, you're selling yourself short.
Right.
You're not helping people that are inspired by you, but they don't have anything else after that.
Right.
So yeah, so that's also included.
Okay, so what are some of the things or some nuggets, right? Because I know you probably have all your gems and tricks that you do, but what would you say like some nuggets are for people that have an offer currently or looking to create an offer? Like what would be some of those nuggets or gems that you would be able to give them for free on this platform, right? The Millionaire Essentials platform.
Yeah, well, first of all, you have to be known.
Right.
So you can have the best offer in the world, but people have to see you. So one of the things a lot of people don't do is they don't use video, so people don't actually see it. I mean, they post a lot, but you have to use video so people can really get to know you.
Right.
I mean, I remember one time I met with a lady on Zoom, and I was talking about my studio and my offer, and she told me, she said, well, Eric, I have to leave. I have to go pick up my son. And I said, I don't really have much time, but if you can just go ahead and put it in the chat, and I'll just buy it, whatever it is. So and it's a high ticket offer. So she did it, and then afterwards I asked her, I said, well, why would you pay for something you don't even know what it is? She said, because I see you on video all the time. I trust you. I know that if I can get that for free on videos, I'm sure, you know.
Right, that know, like, and trust
yeah,
factor.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha,
Yes,
gotcha.
it's huge.
And it's crazy. What you talk about is so important in success and when it comes to sales and product, right? Messaging.
Yeah.
Messaging. That's something me and Tevin have learned over the years in entrepreneurship, right? If you're a business owner in entrepreneurship, learning how to speak and learning your messaging is so important.
Super.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this is like a must of what every entrepreneur and business owner needs. Because like for me, like learning this over time is something that has helped us greatly. Because I used to say a lot of stuff without really any meaning in between what I say.
Right, and
Now-
attract all the wrong
Exactly.
people. Yeah.
Now we're learning how to condense what we say and
Right.
have the right message go out to attract what we want.
Exactly.
So like, what's your process in somebody like us or the people out there? Like most of America needs this right now.
Absolutely.
The people out there
Definitely.
just getting into entrepreneurship, just getting into business ownership. How would they go about starting to learn how to speak, learn how to sell?
So first thing you must do is have the right mindset. Right mindset, because it doesn't matter how many strategies I give you. If you don't have the right mindset, it's not going to work. Right? You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your offer, or people will talk you out of it. Right? So and once you have that, also you have to eliminate your self-limiting beliefs, because we all have self-limiting beliefs that we grew up with. So we're like, well, we can't do this or we can't do that. You can do anything you want to do, period. Especially in America, right? So, if you think it's tough here, go somewhere else.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, so you have to have the right mindset, believe in yourself, and don't worry about what people say, because people will talk about you. Oh, yeah, if you live under the bridge, they'll talk about you. If you're a millionaire, they'll talk about you. Give them something good to talk about. Be a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
Then they got a lot to talk about.
Right.
So yeah, you have to have the right mindset. And then once you do have the offer, you have to build an audience, and separate yourself from the masses. Do what most people are not willing to do, so you can have what most people do not have.
So what would you say, like, in regards to messaging, right? Because I know that's something, like Brandon said, that's something big that we really started to learn. What would you say are like some key words that you would give to like some of your clients when they're talking, and you'll be like, hey, no, don't say it this way, maybe say it this way, so you can kind of communicate your thoughts a little bit more efficiently and people can kind of understand you.
Okay. Well, one of the things you should talk about is the things that will draw people in. I was talking about the name of your podcast. It's
Right.
incredible. It drew me in.
Amazing. Appreciate it.
That's why I watch you all, right?
All right,
It
appreciate
draws
it.
me in,
Yeah.
right? So you have to have that hook, something that people see it and that I need to hear it. Like for me, I use secrets a lot. You want 5 secrets on that? Like,
Okay.
Yeah, I want 5 secrets.
Yeah.
Secrets. So words that make people stop and say, I need that.
Right.
So that's what I would say. And also the words you use will determine the people that come to you. Right. And for instance, I have what we call VIP studio speaking experience. I draw people that believe they're VIPs. I draw people that believe they're good at what they do, that they're millionaires or future millionaires. I don't draw people that don't want to spend money or don't think they can make it. They don't even call me.
And that's the reason why you say the VIP.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't even call me, right? So that's the thing. So yeah. So the words will determine who's actually going to come and watch what you do, what you have, and buy what you have.
Dope.
What's your you grew up in Virginia? What's your background?
Well, I'm originally from Nigeria.
You're from
I
Nigeria,
came
okay.
here when I was a teenager. And I grew up all over. One person told me, he said, "Are you wanted in all these states because you've lived in so many states?" I've lived in Philly, I've lived in Atlanta, I've lived in Virginia, Maryland.
Oh man.
I just got bored, man.
So why you been moving around? Why you a migrant?
But he said, yeah,
might-
what?
I get bored.
You can't say that in New York.
what you mean?
That's the wrong word to say in New York. Why you a migrant?
Oh, I just thought
You just thought about it? Oh, finally.
Yeah, I mean, why have you?
Why have you been moving
I'm not
around?
offended.
Why have you been a nomad?
A nomad.
Yes,
Yeah, I
there
can't
you
say
go.
that. Ice might walk in here.
Right.
Keyword, right?
Keyword.
I now would just want to be politically correct. Can we just be yourself?
Right.
Just be yourself.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Well-
well, that was when I was younger. Now I'm more stable. So I stay in
Okay.
Virginia, yeah.
Gotcha. So what do you like about Virginia now compared to some of the other states that you've been in?
Honestly, the reason I moved to Virginia is because of my kids. Because my wife said they have good schools in Virginia. So that's not my favorite place to live in the world.
Gotcha.
Of course, it was a woman's decision. Of
I know,
course,
right?
That's
of
usually how it
course.
goes.
Gotta
We
keep a
follow
happy
suit.
home. Gotta
Of
keep
course.
a happy home. You know?
Right. We got to follow suit. We got to follow suit.
So in your moving around, as far as industries. So you've been in a lot of different cities. So you've seen a lot of different industries. As far as entrepreneurship and business ownership, what city do you think is like more powerful and more of like, does where you're at matter as far as growing, or should you feel you should go to a better situation or bigger city to grow? For example, everybody likes to come to New York. Everybody likes to come to Miami. Everybody likes to go to Atlanta and say, yo, I'm going to make it there because my city may be a little bit too slow.
And because the campfire is there, right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, you do have to be around the people that are making things happen.
Okay.
However, you don't necessarily have to live there. Like, I live in Virginia, but I'm never in Virginia, right? I go to Miami and New York, right? So, just don't limit yourself. Don't say, well, it's because I live in a certain city, that's why I'm not making it. That's rubbish. Right. Like, you can make it anywhere because you can get online, you can travel, right? So you can make it anywhere. You can be in the boondocks of Alabama and build a huge business. Right?
I think that's just limited mindset, though.
Yeah,
to be
you're right.
honest. Because I mean, think about it. New York, one of the most expensive cities in the whole country. It's like
In the world.
oh yeah, in the world. But it's like for us to be able to make it, and then for other people that are maybe in smaller markets to be like, oh no, I can't do it because I don't have enough people here that's buying my offer. I don't have enough people here that's actually doing the same thing as me or is successful. I think it's just more so limited.
You're right.
Mindset.
You're right. And it's funny you say that too, because one of the places I actually want to go to is Nigeria. You go back still?
I do from time to time, not
So now they saying, and you probably have more inside information. They're saying especially for a lot of us over here, that's a place like Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa. Like we should start going back and start investing in. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea if you're working with the right people. Don't if they send you an email, don't invest with them. That's the wrong guy.
Okay, got you.
So you need to know the person you're investing with. That's what I'm saying.
Got you.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a big tech boom out there right now.
Yeah.
Well, not just Nigeria, but the whole Africa. I think that there's a lot of tech inspired things that's happening out there. I forgot what you had sent me. I think it was a meme or something on Instagram where you were like, it was one of the biggest tech countries or most tech enabled countries. So I think that's super important. How are you using like tech or have you started using tech or AI inside of your business that can help you kind of transform what you're doing?
I use tech and AI every single day.
Okay.
Every single
Okay,
day.
there we go.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about excuses, right? So I'm a little bit older than some people that watch your podcast. So growing up, I didn't really grow up with social media or anything like that. But that's no excuse. Like you can go online and get someone to help you with the tech, right?
Gotcha.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So we use AI all the time because it's just faster, right? So I remember I did an ad in the USA Today. This was many years ago before social media, and I heard that USA Today, they have like 100 million people see it or something. So I'm thinking, if I do an ad there, I'll be rich, right? So I put an ad, it was $350 with this small ad, and I got 6 calls, 6, and half of the calls weren't really prospects, so I didn't get anything from it. And one of the reasons is because the people that answer the ad, they don't know me, they don't know who I am, they can't see me. Now, you can do a video and put it on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of them. And you can do that 5 times a day. Like there's no excuse, guys. You can do it 5 times a day, every day. And people will see what you do, right? So if you're making excuses, today is the day you need to stop the excuses. Stop the excuses, because if you can't make it now, you can never make it, because this is actually the best time in the history of the world to build a business, especially because of AI. Right? And if you sit down and watch the news all day, you think the world is falling apart and no one's making money, well, guess what? You're wrong. People are making millions in businesses right now, every day.
So another question I have, right, is obviously you said you use AI inside of your business, right? And with you speaking, a lot of speaking is copywriting, right? It's not just speaking, but also conveying your message, whether it's via text message, email, things like that. Are you like kind of implementing AI to do some of those things for your clients, or is that more so something that you're having in house so that you can kind of teach them how to do so?
Well, one of the things I do help my clients to do is to get speaking engagements.
Okay.
So and that's a tool.
And
that's an online tool.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's what AI you're using. Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
And I tell them too, like if you have a message, you can turn that message into an ebook. You can turn the ebook into a book. You can turn a book into a course. You can turn a course into a coaching program. You can make hundreds of thousands of dollars because you had that idea and that presentation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I said there's no excuse anymore, because back in the day you just have the speech and that's all you got.
Right.
You know? So yeah, and you can do it quickly. I was using AI a few days ago, and you can come up with an idea for a business and put it in ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT what is the business plan I need to create this business, and it will give it to you. Then you can say, give me a 5-year plan. It will give it to you. And you can say, what do I do from 9 to 5? It will break down what you do hour by hour.
Oh, wow.
Well, we were never able to do that. Before, we had to call someone that we know that did the similar business, and that's all. That's all you got.
Right.
So yeah.
So that's a great question, right? I want to transition to that, right? Because a lot of people that's watching this podcast, Millionaire Essentials podcast, they want to know how we make money off of this, right? Because we know as business owners, we know as entrepreneurs. So you're teaching somebody how to speak. You're teaching somebody about messaging. You're getting them on stages. How are they converting?
How? Well, great question. So when you're speaking, we have what we call a call to action, right? You say when you're done speaking, you say, you know what? If you want more information, grab my information, grab my ebook or book a call, right? And then you have the call to action, and then the serious people will contact you, and that's how you can monetize. And aside from that, we promote you way before you speak on a stage, right? So through Facebook ads, we're promoting you. So, for instance, you help people gain access to capital. Right?
Yes.
So if you were speaking on my stage, I would ask you to give me maybe a sentence or two about how you help people. And we put that in Facebook ads. And then we will be able to attract the right people to come to our event virtually that want to hear more. So when you give that information, when you share that information, they're booking calls with you. They want to meet with you. Or they can even contact you before you speak. I have a lot of clients that they make a lot of money before they even show up on my stage, because I've been promoting them for over a month. Right? And then afterwards, we keep promoting you even after, right? So there's really no limit. There's really no limit. One lady, she spoke on our stage. She had 7 book calls right after she spoke. One of them was a speaking engagement. They just sent her a contract. Said, okay, we want to have you on the stage, just like that. She became a best-selling author in a few days after she spoke on our stage, right? And and countless people like that, right on our website, countless people like that.
That's dope.
So kind of walk us through the process, right? Because so now I walk in.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, I walk in. I'm green, right? I don't know nothing about speaking. I just started my business. I want to get my name out there, my voice out there. Kind of how long is your program? How do I get started? Break that down.
Okay, great. So with my program, it's actually not meant for someone that's never spoken in front of a group before.
Okay.
That's important to know, right?
Okay.
It's
So
messaging.
Yeah, that's important. So I try not to attract someone that says, yeah, I want to learn how to speak in front of a group.
I think that's why
that's not the first place.
So I should be somebody who's in business, who kind of has a product, who knows what I'm trying to do. I just need help in scaling.
And I think that's why he says VIP, right?
Okay.
Because
you need help in scaling. You want to go to another level. One of the things we do is when you sign up to speak on our stage, you're part of a community now. High-level entrepreneurs, high-level speakers, coaches, and authors, right? That all work together. So if you contact me, and first of all, you have to be vetted to make sure that you can actually, speak on a stage. I watch some of your videos, right? I'll check out your website, and then we get you started, and then we go over your presentation, right? What you want to talk about, the points you want to make, what your offer is. So we talk about all of that, and then how to sell long term. Right? Because for me, what I do is not a speaking engagement. It's an experience that lasts for years after that day. That literally lasts for years because of the people that you meet. Right?
That's dope.
So we start with the reception. You come in the day before. We have a beautiful reception. You take a tour of the studio, state-of-the-art studio. We all go to lunch and dinner together. Right? You get to know people. And then when you speak on that day, you speak, I give you an award. I give my speakers an award for their past accomplishments. And that is powerful because, number one, it recognizes you for what you've done.
Right,
but number two, it gives you the credibility with the crowd. Because now you're an award winner for what you've done. So that's why, I have to vet the speakers to make sure they've actually helped somebody. They
So,
actually help somebody.
and it's the marketing behind it, which
It
I'm picking up on,
Yes.
which is going to further get you out there.
Yes, absolutely. And then so you speak, right? You speak on the stage. You have all these people watching you, and then when you're done, we give you the reels. Like we don't just do video, right? We do done for you reels, so you can use it on your social media, as well as we help you promote yourself afterwards as well, right? And then we have the you're able to take pictures. We take pictures. We put you in a magazine. So some people they believe print. Right, we put you in a magazine so you can be seen by over 600,000 people, right? So there's a lot that we do to help our speakers to get out there and get known.
That's really dope. I think the credibility part, where you're giving them the award on stage or on stage with the people watching on Zoom, I think that just brings it full circle for them, right? Because it's not only that they're paying somebody to help them, be able to grow their offer, grow their audience, and make more money essentially, right? Mm-hmm. But it's the fact that, they're able to get an award for something that they've done in the past.
Yes.
I think recognition, especially for us as entrepreneurs, sometimes we don't get that, right? Because we're just tirelessly working. Entrepreneurship is just all about perseverance. But if we don't get those rewards, then sometimes it just feels like we're just going,
monotonous.
going. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And in addition to that, self-promotion is hard.
Yes.
Most people are not comfortable with it. So I tell you, when you come on my stage, I promote you, right? I promote you like you walk on water and like you glow in the dark. So you don't have to worry about that. I'm promoting you, right? And that's what I'm good at. I'm good at edifying people. Right?
Yes.
So if you have a book, I'll read your book before I promote you. Like I go all out to help my people, right?
That's dope.
So that's what we do.
And your studio's in Virginia?
It's in North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina, yeah. All right, so we need to probably pull up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Actually,
we probably got to pull up.
We're going to be speaking at a conference in, what's that, August, September?
Oh, it is in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, we might have to pull up.
We might have to pull up on you, man.
Yeah,
I'd
we
love
had
to
to
put
pull
you
up.
on. I love what you do, by the way, especially since you help people acquire the money to build their business.
Oh, he did the research. I forgot. He did the research.
I do my research.
'Cause I was about to ask him. My next question. Don't worry. I got a good next question for you.
So the number one excuse that people give when they see an offer that can help them is, I don't have the money. Instead of thinking, how can I find the money? It's a difference in mindset. Look, most of the millionaires in America did not become millionaires because their daddy gave them the money. No, they're first generation. They found it. So they say, well, I don't come from an upbringing where we had a lot of money. That's no excuse. Most people don't.
Right, and you have credit in America.
Yeah, you have credit. So there's
most countries don't have credit.
Oh my goodness, there are countries, man.
Like you can't go back to Nigeria and say, hey, I got this credit score.
Yeah, they won't give you money for business. They won't give you money for school.
Right.
Like so here, this is it. Like if you're watching me right now and you say you don't have money for business, then you're not thinking in the right direction, right? You need to. Stinking thinking. That's what it is. So you need to change that mindset today because you have people here that can help you get the money. You just have to find out how to do it, get the money, build a business, change your family tree, and stop making excuses.
So I say for anybody who thinks money is a factor in their success, this is not for them because it's your drive.
Exactly.
Like we have made, just me and Tevin, we've made a lot of money without using funding, without using money. Because we started learning sales, we start moving around, we start getting in front of people, social media, networking. Networking is probably one of the biggest things that's going to help lead to your success.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, in the beginning, it may not take money. It may take time, sweat equity, going out to 2 events a day, going on Eventbrite, going on these social networking meetups, getting phone numbers, actually making those phone calls. So there's a lot of sweat equity that you should be putting in when you don't have the money.
Exactly.
And then once you start making money, that's going to 10x what you already have going. Yes. That's what people need to understand.
Absolutely. When I was in my 20s, I remember one of my friends called me up. He said there's this seminar where these millionaires they're making a lot of money and they're helping people, and it's like $100. I said, I don't have the money. He said, well, how long do you want to keep saying that? I said, what do you mean? I said, I don't have it though. I said, well, again, how long do you want to keep saying that? Find the money so you can go there, get in the room of the people that will help you make the money, and then you can change your life. You can change your family. I'm like, what, your family tree? I'm like, wow, that's right. And I did that. And I went to the seminar. I heard people that were giving me advice, like the advice you give. it changed my life.
Right.
It changed my life totally. And that's why, and like, for instance, you want to speak on our stage, it's not free. You got to pay, right? But there are ways you can get money, right? So
Right.
again, it's not an excuse. You find a way. The first event I went to, I paid, but the second one I was a volunteer because I didn't have that kind of money.
Right.
I was a volunteer. I got in the room. I rubbed shoulders with all these people. I mean, back then we still had cards, right? I'm just getting their cards. I'm getting their cards, right? Say, hey, remember me, Eric? Yeah. So it's your drive. That's what it is. It's your drive. The opportunities are out there. There's more opportunity now than ever before.
Exactly.
Right.
Ever before.
Exactly.
But you have to be around the right people.
Exactly.
To tell you that. Because if you're around the wrong people, misery loves company. They'll tell you, no, the world is falling apart. Don't get too excited. You want people that are excited like you, right?
Yes. So the question I had earlier, right, is because, like I said, you probably did your research, right? Before you came up here, you went to our social media, you went to mine, you went to Brandon, and you saw us speaking about, that we help business owners get access to capital.
Yeah.
From your professional opinion, right, as you are the consultant of speakers, how do you feel that we do on our reels? Like, do you feel like we convey messages?
Well, yours is trash. So I don't know. I mean, yours is trash.
But that's why I asked the question.
I mean, I can answer that question.
No, but I mean, I'm just asking the question.
Well, I like what I see. All right.
No.
No.
No. See, that's it. That's a politically correct answer right there. That's what
I'm
he
in
trying
your
to do.
house. I can't say that did something too bad. I'm in your house.
I thought I was gonna get the truth.
He want a free consultation. That was good. He trying to get a little free.
And
He trying to get a
why you
freebie,
stopping
bro.
it? Why you stopping
Bro,
it?
we gonna go to North Carolina, bro. We're
Okay.
gonna do it the right
So
way.
Going to
here's my
North
advice to you.
Kakalaka?
Here's my advice to you. Come down to North Carolina.
See, that's what you see.
And I'll take you to the next level. How's
Yeah,
that?
there you go.
All right, so that's a good segue, right? So we help people get access to capital. So I know you mentioned Facebook ads earlier, and one of the things we said before, you have to know what you're doing before you actually get access to capital to scale. It's really going to 10x what you already have going on. So we usually get people around 50K to 100K in capital. 0% interest funding a lot of times. So for your VIPs, if we were able to get them access 20, 30, 40, 50,000, how are they going to use that to 10x what they have going on?
Well, first of all, they would apply to speak on my stage. And then once they do speak on my stage and they get all these videos and assets, then they're going to put it out there. So you can do an ad. And in the ad, you actually have a webinar in the ad, which gives people the value and also tells people about how they can work with you, right? And the ad can be playing 24/7, right? So my ads play 24/7 while I'm sleeping. And there's nothing more powerful than that to get that message out, right? So, and it doesn't really matter what industry you're in, right? There's a way to do it where you can benefit from those ads. And then I know some people are saying, well, I've used ads before, they didn't work. Well, it's because you're working with the wrong people. That's all it is. They're working with the wrong people. Because there are people that can do it to make it work for you.
So you help them with Facebook ads?
No, not specifically, but
Okay.
I do have contacts that do.
So are you helping people with Facebook ads and things of that nature?
Absolutely, we can help you with that.
So is it just Facebook ads, YouTube ads? Like what type of ads do you guys do?
Facebook, Instagram,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Have you delved into that YouTube realm as yet? The YouTube ad realm?
Not yet, but we will.
Or Google.
Okay, or Google. Yeah, Google ads are good too as well.
And also you can make it in anything. Like people say, what's the best? Really, they're all good.
Yeah,
Right, they're all good.
It's just messaging.
Depends on your
it's
strategy.
messaging, yeah.
Messaging strategy.
Don't. If you're listening to the people trying to sell you in a certain thing, they'll say, oh, this is trash and this is better. Like they're all good. You just have to find someone that's good at it to help you with the message. And again, once you have the money, there's nothing you can do. You can scale. Like you can use the 50K to make way more. You can 10x that easily for sure, if you're working with the right people.
Right. I think something that all entrepreneurs should learn going into, majority of any business that they're going into is that sales portion, right? Mm-hmm. Sales and marketing. Sales and marketing is going to drive your business 10 times further. Obviously systems is definitely necessary.
You need to bring people in first.
Yes, but you need to bring people in. You need to be able to make money before you can go ahead and be like, yo, I want to create a system. I want to sit down for 3 months and create a whole system. Before you can do that, you have to see if your business model even work, right? Proof of concept. So the reason why I ask, or I state that is I want to ask you a question in the sense of how did you, or your proof of concept was going to those conferences, right? To seeing those people speak and say, and Tony Robbins, like you said. But how did you know for you it would work? Like, what was a click for you? Like, what was that spark?
Yeah, actually, I did a studio event for myself a couple times before I opened it up to other people.
That's key. That what you said.
Yeah.
That.
So yeah, I did my own studio event. I had 36 people book a call after I spoke, and I've never had that kind of response before in anything I've ever done. And I've done webinars for years. So, and I know that if you help enough people get what they want, you'll have everything you want. So I said, okay, I need to think bigger than just me. I need to help people to be able to have this kind of success.
Do you think it was because of the presence, or do you think, obviously with you speaking, you said you've done it before, right? You said you've done webinars, you've done all those different type of things, but you think because you're standing in front of that stage, technically, right? With your background, your presence, the way you look, everything was right, right? And then when you spoke in front of that crowd, do you think it was because of that, or do you think it's just because of, the articulation and the maturation of how you got there, right? Because you did webinars before, like you said.
Well, part of it, I think, is just the platform, the environment. Like when people see you in that light, they see you in a bigger light. Right? I have clients that tell me, like Eric, they say, well, there are people that have been following me for years, and now they're buying because they saw me in a different light. Right? They saw me in that studio. They saw me getting an award. They saw me, because while you're speaking, we're branding you. Your name is in the background. Like it's a different feel. And one of the clients said that her daughter started messaging all her friends. My mom's on TV. My mom's on TV. It's not technically TV, but it looks like it because it's done at a high quality. Right. And I do want to say something about sales because that's really my forte before I even got into this.
Right.
And I think the mistake a lot of people make is they think they have to be born a salesperson. You don't have to be born a salesperson. It's, sales is a learned skill. And you have to have the mindset that you're helping people. If you have the mindset that I'm selling something to someone and they don't need it, you will never sell and you will never make money. But if you think that, how can I help people? How can I solve their problems? Look, the money will be rolling in,
right?
Because the people will want more. They'll refer business to you, right?
Yeah,
and that's powerful. And then you talked about like social proof, and then once you start having success, then you wanna have testimonials,
right? Capitalize on it.
Yeah, testimonials, right? So when I started out, I talked to a couple people, and they're like, "Mom, I don't know if this is for me," right? I've done way more than a couple people. But then now we have people messaging us every day because we have like 30 testimonials on our site. So like, oh, if it worked for them, it'll probably work for me, right? Yep. So that's important too.
Got you. And I think that's what's key. One of the things you say, you've done webinars, but the in-person feel is a different feel. Yeah. And since from COVID to now, we're getting back to now the in-person, right? Yes. We've been kind of back there, but it's becoming way more powerful. So I see a lot of successful entrepreneurs, they're doing in-person events heavy. Because that speaking to somebody in person, if you know how to get your messaging across, you're more inclined probably going to sell at a higher rate than just a webinar or a VSL or online. Absolutely. So when you're doing these in-persons, right, what do you suggest as far as these events, like free events, paid events, like kind of what's your strategy when you're teaching your VIPs?
Yeah, so basically you can do both. You can let people come in, but then you can have a VIP part where you charge for that. And so for mine, the VIPs get to be in the room, so to speak, with the speakers, where they can ask them questions and they can learn on a deeper level, right? Okay. So if you spoke on my stage and people are watching you, some people watch as almost like entertainment. Oh, this is interesting, this is fun. But then some people are taking notes. They're like, I need money for my business and I need these guys, right? So they pay for the VIP, then they're able to ask you questions and learn more.
Okay, so you do similar to like challenges, right?
Yeah,
but they do the general admission, Gen Pop. Yeah. Don't stay in Gen Pop. You got to go to VIP.
Exactly.
Right.
You should go to VIP.
Always.
You should. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, but not everybody will. Some people, because of $100 or $249, they'll miss out on hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, like you said, it's a mindset thing,
yeah,
right? And sometimes it takes people a longer time to catch up, but definitely getting into a room, especially if you're paying a higher ticket, you're separating yourself from that person that's paying a lower ticket because now it's not as many people in there. So if I'm in a room with, let's just say, it costs me this amount of money to get in front of Jeff Bezos, and all these people are in front of all these other guys, I'm going to get in a room with Jeff Bezos because you're going to get to a higher level. To me, it's just common sense, but common sense ain't common to everybody. It's different.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not.
And then you'll learn one tip that can change your life when you're in rooms like that, right? If you're just trying to look for free videos, they don't give you that kind of high level tips. So yeah, so it's always worth it. It's more than worth it to be in the room with the right people that are smarter than you, people that have done what you want to do.
And I always use that. People should just always use that as a learning tip as well. If you were able to execute off of free information, imagine how much you're going to execute by investing in yourself.
Absolutely.
And it's always a limit to free.
Right.
It's always a limit.
Exactly. And I can understand some people because they're like, hey, there's been so much scams, there's been so much people online talking about the same exact thing. And that's why when you said it earlier, the know, like, and trust factor is really understanding the person that's going to be for you.
Yeah.
Right? You have to, the person that you're going to spend the money with, they have to be tailored to who you are.
Exactly.
Right? They have to have gone through the experiences that you feel like they've gone through.
And I think we need to kind of break down what the definition of scam is, right? Because that's a popular word.
Yes, I like that.
That clients, customers, and consumers use. They
Yes.
always want to use the word scam, right?
Correct.
My definition, I think scam is if you pay for something and you really don't get anything of anything nowhere near of what you paid for, or you really don't get anything.
Right, correct.
A lot of people are using scam because they're just unhappy with the product.
Exactly.
That's not scam.
Not scam.
That's just maybe you're unhappy with the product.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is FOMO too. FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. I think a lot of people fear of missing out on the opportunity that they feel is for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of times they call it scam too. Because they're hopping inside of these, big challenges, big webinars and things like that, and they may feel like it's for them, but it's not for them. You're speaking to somebody else. Your messaging is for somebody else. Yeah. They may have just got on there and
they can't execute on what was given to them.
Exactly.
That's another thing.
Yes.
They can't execute on what was given to them.
Oh, they don't understand. They don't understand it's possible. I did a video once where I talk about my first $50,000 a month. And someone sent a message saying, nobody makes that kind of money online. I'm like, people do that in a day. Like, I'm not,
Right.
I didn't even say that, right?
Right, you said a month.
I said a month. And some people were like, that's it? Yeah, but if you don't understand, you're like, oh yeah, that must be a scam, right? Because you're not open-minded enough to get around the people that actually do it. So instead of going around calling everything a scam, find someone that you can trust and invest in the guy or the lady and do something, because those people are the ones that never make it in life, unfortunately.
So yeah, since you're talking about $50,000 days and months,
there you go. Yeah.
this is the Millionaire Essentials podcast.
Yes, sir.
What do you think are the essentials it takes to become a millionaire?
The essentials. You have to be willing to take risks, right? You have to. You can't be afraid to make mistakes. Right, because you're going to make mistakes, especially if you're a founder, if you're building a business. Right? You're going to make mistakes. Make them fast, and get to the other side. You can't worry about what people say, because if you listen to what people say, you will never fulfill your full potential in life, because most people do not want you to be successful. By the way, so they're not going to encourage you or motivate you, right? So you can't even worry. You can't think about that. You have to be just like if people don't say you're crazy, then you don't have big goals. Like when you say your goals and like, oh yeah, you could do that, then it's not big enough. You got to have goals where people say that's crazy. There's no way. Then you're on the right track.
Well, I mean, for people like Brandon said that's crazy for anything.
What are you talking about,
That's like
bro?
your go-to. When somebody
What are you
say,
talking
yo,
about?
that's crazy. That's exactly what you would say.
No, I don't, bro. I'm not easily impressed, bro.
Exactly. So that's why you would say, that's crazy.
Yeah, I be
That's
lying.
what-
I be lying.
I know. That's
Yeah,
why
I be
I
lying.
said. I said that.
Here's another one. Work on yourself more than you work on your business.
Okay.
Like,
Personal development.
Oh my God, it's huge. It's huge. People will talk you out of your own idea, and it's a good one, and they'll talk you out of it, and then they'll go do it.
You're right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, you're
That's
absolutely
crazy.
right about
That's
that.
crazy.
So
I didn't even
you
think
gotta
about it.
say,
That's
look,
crazy.
this is what I'm doing. I don't care what people think. I'm not gonna ask my mama, my auntie. I'm just gonna do it, right? And and it's interesting when you're doing something and people see that you're moving forward. You'll get helpers along the way. Like, I see what you're doing. What can I do to help? But if you don't start, they'll just be waiting on you. What you doing? You know what I mean? So I think, I think that's really helped me in my life. The personal development, hanging around the right people, changing my mindset, that there's more opportunity. There's so much opportunity out there. It's abundant, right? It's easy to watch the news and just get upset or depressed and think there's nothing going anywhere. There's a lot of business going on. Some people are making way more money now than ever before. Even with the tariffs. The tariff that's what the people use now, right?
Right.
It's the tariffs.
Oh, it's the tariffs, yeah. So,
or they say, my person didn't win the election. Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't matter who's in the White House, It really doesn't matter. They're not sending you a check.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter who it is, right? So if you're waiting for your right candidate, you'll wait for a long time.
Yeah. Very long time. Yep.
You got to just step out and do something for yourself and your family. And don't just do it for yourself. Do it for the people around you. Yeah. If you're listening to this right now and you hear what we're saying and your family, they don't know, right? It's your job to make it happen. It's your job to go out there, make the money, and then you may have to leave and come back and then show them how it's done. But don't sit there with them when you know there's a better way.
So a question I have, right? You say family, right? And you say you have kids?
Yes, I have 3 kids. Yes.
Okay. So because you're so heavy on sales, right? Mm-hmm. And this is a question I've always wanted to ask, even to like sales coaches that have kids, because growing up, obviously, your kids can take whatever career path they want to take.
Yes.
But I think teaching them that learned skill of sales can help them bring them anywhere, right? Absolutely. Are you actively doing that now with some of your kids, or is it just more so like, hey, just whatever your path is whatever your path is?
Well, I'm letting them know that sales is important, because the way I got into sales was by accident. I was recruited by a company called Xerox, back in the 90s.
Oh, as a princess.
And they were known for sales, Right. So I wanted to be
They were selling their big commercial.
Yes. I wanted to be in marketing. I wanted to do the fun stuff. And they said, but you have to get into sales for 2 years before you can do marketing. And my first 60 days, I didn't sell anything. I was horrible at it. So I called my dad. I said, Dad, I'm just gonna quit. My dad was a realtor at the time. I said, I'm just gonna quit. He said, no. He said, sales is the best thing for you. No matter what you end up doing in life, having sales skills will help you. He said, find someone that sells in a way that you're comfortable selling. And I found a mentor, and he showed me how to do it. In 18 months, I was one of the top reps in the whole region, right? But that's the thing.
And that's because you had a mentor.
Yeah, I had a mentor. I had a mentor that taught me how to do it. I thought being a good salesperson is convincing people to buy stuff they don't need. And I said, I can't do that. I'm a nice guy. I can't do that. But then the guy used to follow, we call it shadowing back then. That's old.
Right.
You follow someone around. I noticed this guy wasn't selling anybody. He'll get to know you. He'll talk to you. He'll build rapport.
Yeah.
He'll find out what's going on. And then he'll say, I can help you with that. How can you help me? And then he'll show you. And before you know it, they're ordering 3 copiers, toner, paper. I'm like, how did he
indirectly selling? He's indirectly
selling,
And I think a lot of people with that mentality, because when they're doing sales, they're probably working for companies they don't believe in, right? But when you're an entrepreneur, if you believe your product really is going to help somebody, that's how a lot of people don't believe in their product. That's the problem.
They don't believe.
But if you believe your product really works and is going to help somebody, then you should be learning to do everything in your power on how to say this is going to help you.
Yes.
And that's how you're going to get better at sales. I think a lot of people are failing, like I said, because they don't believe in their product.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't know, like, I'm Tevin's mentor. Like, I've been Tevin's mentor for years.
I don't know. Wait, how did we get here, bro?
So, we've been able to get here because
No, you're not my mentor. You are not my mentor.
We're going to keep that on the low.
Oh, it's on the podcast. They know. He is not my mentor.
You got to address that, huh?
Yeah, I got to address it up front. Because you know him. He'll roll with the whole narrative.
But yeah, believing in your product, I think that's key. Actually creating something that you believe is going to help people. And I think that's something that's unspoken. A lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, they don't fully 100% believe in their product.
That's right.
I think that's really one of the biggest problems.
Yeah, you have to believe in yourself first. Believe in yourself, and then believe in your offer, the product. There's no substitute for that, because you'll quit, number one, and you'll easily, look. Someone told me, he said, Eric, 11 people said no, so it must not be a good idea. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like when you go to a store, most people that walk into that store and the clothing store don't buy. Most people, they don't close up shop. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So I tell people this, like, I don't like McDonald's. I don't like McDonald's food at all. I think it's not good for you. And you think McDonald's? You think someone in the home office of McDonald's is thinking, well, Eric is not buying our burgers. What we gonna do? You don't care because they have other people, right? Treat your business like it's a corporation. Just stop worrying about that stuff. Focus on the people that need what you have.
And that's basically entrepreneurs learning business for real. So a lot of them don't really understand business. Like I hate when I hear, I can't sell this for that price. So you don't believe your price is going to justify somebody to buy it. Like you don't believe that it's your product is worth this price. So that means you don't believe it's going to be able to make somebody money.
Yeah.
It was a comment during one of our I think it was the podcast we just recently had with Conundrum, and somebody was in the comment and they were like, Meta is charging for their ads.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they was like they ripping us off or they scamming us.
Exactly, they're scamming us.
Facebook is taking money basically from
to
us
run
doing
ads,
XYZ and all that.
What do you want them to do?
Yeah,
nobody
else can make money but them.
But them, like, that don't make no sense. Yeah. And I think a lot of people
not
like
understanding business, bro.
Right,
not understanding
exactly.
leverage, not understanding partnerships.
Yes.
Like everything in business is leverage, partnerships.
Yes,
networking, relationships.
Yes.
So everybody has to make money. If I'm using your platform, they got to make money too.
Absolutely.
Of course.
People just don't understand that.
So Eric, man, what do you got coming up next, right? Because I know everybody's on here. They're watching. They're saying, hey, I love what this guy's talking about. He understands, how he can help me. What do you have coming up next, man?
Yeah, so I do have an event in October. We have a few spots left for speakers. So anybody that's interested, they can go to our site, studiospeaking.com. But what was it? Studiospeaking.com.
Okay.
Studiospeaking.com.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do want to do is I want to give all your entire audience a free offer, like a free ebook.
Oh, okay. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, and in fact, I should charge for it. I really should. Because I worked on that for months.
Hey.
I worked on it for months. I should charge for it,
but
I'm going to give it to you.
You're going to get it for free.
Yeah,
wow, that's amazing.
So if you want it, go to successwitheric.com /100. Success with Eric. Eric is ERIC.com /100.
And we're gonna have it in the link in the comments down below.
Yeah, it's gonna be in this episode in the link below.
And here's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get 100 tips to market your business, to get more leads, to get more sales, to change your business forever. All right. So like I said, I'm gonna start charging for it, but right now it's free. So click on the link and grab that ebook for free.
That's super dope. That's super dope, man.
Let them know where to find you as well.
Yeah, so Eric F. King on basically all social media. If you look for Eric King, you'll find 200 of them. But you look for Eric F. King, you'll see me on
Eric.F?
Yes.
Okay.
Eric.F.King. If you just type in Eric F. King, it comes up.
Okay, dope.
Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, I'm all over.
That's dope, man.
Appreciate you for coming, Eric. And listen, tap into Eric. This has been a great episode of the Millionaire Essentials podcast. If you guys want to learn how to speak, which you need to learn how to speak, get your messaging out there and get on stages, tap into Eric F. King. He's going to teach you guys how to 10x your business by getting your message across. It's been another great episode. I'm Brandon the Provider.
Yes, sir. And don't forget, my name is Tevin Facey, but don't forget, y'all, if you're looking for $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in capital, whether it's 0% interest, credit cards, loans, lines of credit, make sure you click the other link below, not Eric's, the other link below, right? We're not giving out a free ebook, but we will help you get access to capital, y'all. Make sure you click that link below.
They got to click both because once they get the capital, they got to
exactly
100 tips.
You're right. They need to
able to
market.
scale.
Exactly. They need to make.
So y'all got to click both links.
Both.
Listen, we gonna get you the money to tap in with Eric.
Yes, sir.
And we gonna blow your business up.
Yes, sir.
Like, subscribe, click that notification bell, and catch this episode. We see y'all soon.
Peace.
All right. Take care.